Okay, we're doing a very short ramp up today because Brandy was running behind. So we're gonna look for, there we go. Future scene should be showing up somewhere. And of course it's not, because why would it? Uh, let's see. Let's see if we can get it to behave. Doesn't quite want to load the scene. Fantastic! Why do you give me a hard time like this? There we go, there we go, there we go. Perhaps it just needed the right accent. You know. Because, why not? Alright, so last week we finished our dragon. And I'm just going to pop that back up on the screen and show you the marvelous work that we did. All these long times of spending working on this, the dragon and her babies. And it was indeed well worth the investment. So I'm going to pop that up just a second here. What is today? I cannot recall the day. There we go. Oh. There we go, there we go, there we go. Alright, open that up so you guys can see it and be reminded of what we did. That is where we left our dragon hatching. I love the work we did together. But, toward the end of the stream, we decided it was time to start working on a different scene altogether, and what we chose to do is pull ourselves into the future and work on a sci-fi scene. Hi, Amaya! How are you? Good to see you! Yes, we are working indeed. And we decided it's going to be a twilight scene, and this up here in the corner, like mid-center, is not a broken heart, although you would think so. That is, in fact, the moon that's going to be cracked and visible. So, having introduced you to the new project and the work we did on it last week, we are going to get started. We're going to finish up the background, which is what we were working on last time, is blending in that twilight and really making it feel more like twilight should feel. Still healing from surgery? Oh, bless your heart, man. That is rough. I am so glad that you have made it through surgery, though, and that you are on the journey to healing. Can take, I don't know exactly what the problem was that you're healing from, but I do know that every surgery can take a while to heal from, even minor surgeries sometimes. I have a feeling it probably wasn't nearly as minor. But yes, we're going to play with this background. We're going to get it all smoothed out. Really looking very Twilighty. Ha! Not Twilight the movie sense, but, you know, Twilight is in, this could be a real time period. Kidneys. Ow. Thanks. That is a rough one. My hopes is that you will heal swiftly, and whatever health problem those kidneys were causing you will be resolved. I'm going to bump up the little bit of a smudge stick size so that we're sweeping more of it with every pass. I can imagine it's very painful. Hey, Miss Linda! Good to see you! Good to see you. So happy to have my tribe here. You guys are amazing people. every single one of you, and you just make it so worth the work. And like I've said before, you know, I would do the art anyway, even without you here, but you guys make the work so much more enjoyable to do than it is when I'm doing it by myself. And your ideas really do contribute quite a lot to what we end up with. The dragon certainly wouldn't have been what it was without you guys contributing to it. So these color palettes are just giving me a strong cyberpunk vibe, which I'm fine with. But it does bring out the thoughts that there should be neon in this. Lots and lots of neon. Some solid 80s stuff going on. Which is funny, because, you know, it's a futuristic thing, but we're going to toss in some old school 80s vibes to it. Now that it's getting darker here, we want to add some darker blues to the bottom. So I'm going to pick this. Swish, swish, swish. Add some darker blues down here. I always like to do a full background, even if I don't need it, even if not all of the dark background is going to be visible. Because what it does is it allows me, if I later need to adjust the placement of things, I don't have to redo the background. It already exists in full. So it just makes sense to kind of do it that way. I am hoping, well, not just hoping, I'm praying for a full healing. Lord Jesus, I lift up to the foot of your cross Amaya and her pain and her kidneys. Lord, I just ask you that you would put your healing hand upon her, that you would come in your role as divine physician to help mend whatever needs mending, heal whatever needs healing, restore whatever needs restoring. That the source would be revealed and the root of the unhealth would be mended. Like, you know, whatever's causing the ultimate problem. Like, Lord, I just ask you to cover her in your shed blood of your mercy and her healing. That I know you can heal all things with just a word. And I ask that you would do that for her. So that through her, all might see the work that you do for the glory of God the Father. Let those who have tended her through this healing come to know you. Come to see that you are somebody who can be trusted in their time of need. A good and faithful God who cares, truly cares about us all and loves us, each and every one of us. With a love that cannot begin to be explained. Even the word love is inadequate for how you feel about us, for the care that you have for us. As the psalmist would say, who is man that you would be mindful of him? And yet here you are, and you are. Caring about us, loving us, meeting us in our needs. Ever mindful. Yes, the healing is hard. Sometimes the hardest work isn't being sick. Hardest work is healing after having been sick. It's all the changes that your body has to make in order to get healed and stay healed. Changes to the body, changes to the mind, changes to the life. It's not easy. Healing never is. Everybody makes it sound like it's just, it'll just get better, but it's not really how it works usually. Alright, so we've got our Twilight background. It's messy, but I like it. Yes, not easy, but definitely worth it. Rarely is something worth having that is easy to get. There we go. That's kind of the look I'm looking for. Alright, so now we have that background locked in, and we're going to put a lock on that layer, actually, because we don't want it to move. We don't want it to be affected by anything else we do, and we're going to layer it, or label it. Easier for me to say, right? Whoop. My pen just wants to drop. Bummer. Let's see. Can we lock layer? Well, doesn't make it easy to. Alright, anyway. Moving on. 20 years of you being in rehabilitation and recovering from a broken neck. Took 3 surgeries to fix. Oh, well, thank you, Maya. I appreciate that. I have noticed you are a pretty positive person. Constantly posting about the positives and all ways to look up. And I think that is an awesome trait to have. It will get you far in life. In my experience, it is the best way to handle life, is to always, always, always look for a reason to be more positive. Life will hand you plenty of stuff that's not positive, but you can always find a reason to be happy in the middle of the hard moments. Let's go ahead and drop that size down because we're going to tackle the moon. Yes. You know, that is really the secret to a lot of things in life, is just choosing to believe that all the things that are happening to you are going to happen for you, that there is nothing that happens that isn't ultimately working for your good and God's glory, even if you don't understand yet how. Because if you can keep that mindset, then eventually life proves you right. You really were. Everything was working for your good. It's taken me years to figure out how that was true, but I have seen everything that ever happened to me in my life has ultimately ended up working out for my good. Where is that layer? That's driving me crazy. Layer 8. Let's bring that up to the top. Now then, my little miscreant, let's deal with you. There we go. Yes, the moon is broken. Yeah. Yeah, you kind of got to give the negative to Jesus, because he's the only one who's capable of dealing with it. He turns everything that happens to something that works for you instead of against you. I like to say that everything in your life that is happening for you, not to you, is designed to transform you into the person that you have to be to take your place in the heavens and be the star that you were always meant to be. And so everything that's going on in your life right now is in some way helping you to become the version of you that can take your place in the heavens. See, stars are not born under easy circumstances. In fact, what happens is that what is roughly space dust gets swept up and compressed and compressed and compressed and put under so much pressure that eventually it's got only two choices, two paths it can take. The first path is that it can ignite, and then it becomes a star that burns so bright that the light that it gives off can be seen galaxies from where it is. It literally lights up the entire universe. Or, alternatively, if it chooses not to ignite, it can collapse in on itself, and then it becomes this black hole that sucks the light and the life out of everything around it. And we, as human beings, get to make that choice too. Are we going to let the things that happened to us become something that causes us to collapse inward and become this black hole that sucks the life and the light out of everything around us? Or are we going to let it make us ignite, and then we burn so brightly that we literally bring light to those in darkness all over the place, no matter where we go. Everywhere our light touches. And that's a choice that only we can make. It can't be made for us. Nobody else can make that decision for us. We have to choose it. Now, we can be helped to choose it. People giving us reasons for hope. People sharing their reasons why, in spite of all the adversity they face, that they ultimately chose to shine instead of collapsing. But in the end, nobody else can make that choice for us. Only we choose what we do with what happened to us. Absolutely. And the Lord is going to test every person. You know, every one of us gets to experience our own version of hardship. Every one of us gets to choose what path we're going to go down. That's the beauty of free will, and also sometimes the tragedy of it is that we do get to choose what we do. For better or for worse, we get to choose. Sometimes the choice we make is not a good one. We end up hurting people. And I cannot tell you that I am innocent of hurting other people, because that would flat out be a lie. There are times in my anger that I have lashed out at other people and hurt them tremendously. I try not to be that person, though. I try to make sure that I take what happened to me and turn it to the advantage of other people now. Share the lessons I learned. Make sure that nobody else has to struggle the way I did. Ultimately, that's what I want, is for people to thrive and to know that their struggles don't prove that there's no God, or that there isn't a God that loves them, but in fact, he loves them enough to let them struggle and suffer. Because that struggling and that suffering is what is the fertilizer, essentially, that causes our greatest growth. And without it, we would stay stuck in our limitation and never become the people that we were destined to be. Just like a star doesn't become a star until it gets put into so much pressure that the little dust molecule has no choice except to ignite or collapse. That's all it's got left to it. Oh, it looks like a white cookie. Nom 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 cookie. Okay. Yes, I agree, Malachi. This community is a huge part. I know for me, you guys inspire me all the time. You know, you guys are going through things and yet you show up for each other. You make sure you support each other. You keep plugging along when times are hard and it would be easier to quit and give up. And that's just inspiring as heck. Personally, I think we've got the best kept secret on the YouTubes. The most positive community. Everybody complains about social media, but I think we've got the best part of it. All right, so that's our little moon. Now we need to make the moon glow. Because it doesn't look very moony without the glow. You can try some blending options, but so while we're working on this, tell me about your week, y'all. What was going on? What were you doing? Good, bad, ugly, indifferent? What was happening in your lives? Family can be a really big support. That is the beauty of family when it's at its finest. Family is not always supportive, but when it is, it's doing what it's supposed to. It is a beautiful thing. You know what? I don't like that smudging. We're gonna undo that smudge. Undo, 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 undo. Undo. I don't think it looks good. So we're going to take that away. We're going to bring it back up a new layer and we're going to do the moon glow again because I liked the other way it looked. I didn't like the smudge look to it. Me too, Malachi. I don't tend to forget about the people who have been there for me when times were hardest. At least I hope I don't. I'm not a perfect person, so I'm not going to say I'm 100% of everything that I should be. But I do try to remember those who have been there for me. Yeah, that looks nice. We had family over for dinner yesterday. He made homemade meat sauce and pasta. And you also had some rum. Well, you know, it's good to celebrate. Label this moon glow. Just working on fleshing out the moon out a little more. Dropping in some more shadows. Because as we learned with our last drawing, those shadows really make the difference. They really sell it. Even the dogs are tired. They get so excited when you get company. I bet they do. Those poor babies. Dogs are so easily excited. Most dogs, anyway, that I've met. I'll qualify this to say I have not met every dog in the world. Chances are good there's at least one or two dogs that don't get excited by much of anything. But in my experience. Alright, we'll stop messing with the moon now. I'm going to lock that into place. And that means we can effectively change the size and position of the moon with a single keystroke if we later decide that's what we want to do. Now that we've got the background and the moon in place, let's fit on the screen and see what we're looking at. Okay, so here's the question. What do we want to work on next? Do we want to work on our person? Or we could work on this person, the cityscape, or the transit system. Yeah, there we go. Those are the 3 points we can choose. I mean, obviously we could work on anything. And if you guys want to work on something else, feel free to mention that. We can erase those words. We don't need to keep the twilight and the crack to invisible because we've already got that in place. Oh, that's part of the apartment building. Okay, so I'll just go ahead, slip on in here and erase those words because we don't need to keep them. Go. The cityscape. Do, do, do. Everybody in agreement? We got 1 minute to vote. Do, 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 do. 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 Oh, we got 50-50 now. We need a tiebreaker. Do, 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 do. Do, 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 do. Do, 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 do. Do, 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 do. All right. 1 minute to go for voting. And then we'll do the cityscape and the transit system. All right, I'm gonna go ahead and end the poll. That's all the poll we get for tonight. Woohoo! Now we're gonna zoom in and start working on the cityscape. We're gonna choose a focal point. Where is our little dude looking? I know, someone didn't vote. It's a sad state of affairs, but what can a girl do? When people just don't vote. I think somebody may have snuck away to take a nap. And if he did, I won't hold it against him. He might be tired. He's been doing not enough sleeping lately. All right, we're gonna start over here. Well, good, Malachi. I'm glad you voted. We're gonna make this like a bridge. I think that's what this is. No, I don't need you, sticky keys. I'm sorry, I'm coming in your ears. Hope you don't mind. I'm in a good mood. Just trying to give y'all something to hear. Something here, y'all. Oh, wait, I should move that up to 100%. Yep, I sure should. Yep. Do, 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 do. Oh. If you're food and you don't know where to go to, why don't you go where fashion sits? Putting on the ritz. Spending a good time, a wonderful time. When you're blue, you don't go to go with fashion suits. Footnotes. We're going to turn off the other layers so I can see just only this one and see how it's coming along. That way I can specifically address its needs without having a background noise. I want it to be more direct, so we're going to have to return it to the hard state instead of the soft brush. No, no, no. Let's give this some basically brick-like structures, maybe some stone. Maybe a slightly more organic feel to it than the rest of the city has. Maybe this was a holdover from the past. Because we could make this a nice shiny. You know what? That's what I should do. I should give you guys the choice. I should. I'm gonna erase what I just did there. We'll give you the choice. Should the bridge be metal, stone, wood, or a laser, you know, kind of like a, what is it, a light laser, a projection. Yeah, laser projection. Kind of what I'm thinking. Thinking about stone, but I don't know if that meshes with the world that we're going for. And we can do anything. It can be like neon lights or whatever. Metal. Yep, I agree. Alright, that works. Metal it is, my friends. Metal it is. Alright, that actually makes things simpler. We'll start with a black. Oh, well, sure. You accidentally voted for metal? Okay. Yeah, we can actually tell you what, we'll have it be a combination of metal and stone. Oh, okay. Yes, it's heavy metal. Very heavy metal, as we will see soon, my pretty, soon. The heavy metal bridge. Well, metals generally speaking. Generally speaking, I can I can talk, y'all. I promise I can talk. My mouth does have words. Generally speaking, metals are quite heavy. When you get into brushed metal. Light metal would be like aluminum, which is pretty light comparatively. Now to our smudge tool. And we need a bigger smudge. Bigger. Bigger's not always better, but in this case, yes. There are times when bigger is, in fact, better. Well, it's found so far we are doing pretty well with the metal bridge. It's a bridge of metal. I am thinking not so bad. Alright, that's looking pretty good. Now, I want to add some futuristic elements to it. So it's not just one giant metal bridge, but something that speaks to the time and the place. Let's see. Alright, we labeled that. Won't lose it if we paint something over it. Now I'm going to put something. I'm not sure what we're going to do exactly. Ah! No, 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 no. Don't do that. I don't know what I'm doing here. Just kind of doodling around, seeing what looks good. Seeing what makes sense. I kind of like that. Maybe an additional layer. What do y'all think? Guess I should bring in this roughly symmetrical. I guess if we're going to do that, I should really, I'm going to take this away for a moment. I don't know that I'm sold on the outcome of it, but it did give me some ideas. And sometimes that's all you're doing with art is you're just playing around until something comes together. See what works and what doesn't. Come down here and take this out. Okay. Let's go already. Sometimes Photoshop gets itself a little bit stuck. Come on. Knock it out already. Thank you. Oh, you know what would probably be pretty cool in that bridge would be lights. Like the kind that, you know, like dark blue lights or something like like totally. Zoom in. Let's pop that background back up because I want to pick some of the blues out of here. Like that bright blue. Down here. Yeah. Okay. I'm going to take it back an outline that's darker so it actually and then an outside that's lighter, way lighter. Now we're going to smudge those together, try to make them work. Smaller smudge setting. brighter white. Right there in that center. And let's drop that opacity down so we can basically edge this with that sense of the light. Okay. This is something to real to play with. I kind of like that, but I think it's too tall. I think we need to kind of shorten it down. Which is okay, because we're doing a digital painting, and that's easy to accomplish. I do like it, though. I think it does kind of add a more futuristic feel to it. Sure. Not proportionate. Yeah. Okay. Beep, 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 beep. Alright, duplicate that layer. Pull it up. I'll put this all around the outside edges. One, two, three, four, five. Yeah, maybe not. How many? Let's look at how many we moved it. One, two, three. 1, 2, 3. Now we'll duplicate these. Build those up. The top. 1, 2, 3. Yeah. This one at the very top, right here, we're going to rotate that slightly and pull it in. Fold it over 1, 2, 3, and rotate it. One more of it. Duplicate that layer. Form it. Rotate it. Put it in place. Now the others, we're going to come across, we're going to duplicate all of those. Edit, transform, flip horizontal, and move them in place. There we go. We have our futuristic bridge. Yay for the futuristic bridge. I'm going to convert that to a smart object so it's manipulatable all on its own. And if we need to do anything with the individual lights, we can just drop back into the adjustable layer. But I will say that I do want to come in here and do something. I kind of want to make these, I'm going to select these blue lights. I'm going to duplicate the bridge, duplicate that layer, bring it on top of the other layer. So you're not going to see the little blue lights for just a moment. I'm going to hide that layer. I'm going to select all these blue lights. Come back up, turn this back on. Well, actually, I want to select them all, so what I'm going to do is cut them out of here. Control D for the moment. I'm going to come in here. I'm going to merge all of these into one thing. Merge layers so that it's just blue light layer. I'm going to select that layer, come up here, and I'm going to delete. And then I'm going to do this cool thing. I'm going to come in here to the blending options, and I'm going to bevel and emboss. And what I'm going to do is emboss. Pillow emboss. Do I like that better? Or do I like stroke emboss? Or do I like inner bevel? Now I think we'll do the pillow. Yeah, that's kind of what I want. Okay. See how that kind of gives it an edge to it? Makes it look a little more like a 3D object. We're going to file save. Close out. And actually, I'm going to go ahead and come up to this. And I want to, you know what I want to do? I want to duplicate that and mess around with it a little bit. This new layer that's over the top of it, I want it to be a vivid light. I'm going to drop the opacity a little bit. There we go. Now they kind of look like gemstones, which is cool. And I also want to give it a glow. Blending options. That's what I want to do. Inner shadow. With a really tiny distance and a big choke. Oh, we're about 2 minutes away from being out of time here, folks. That's cool, though. We have a lot to pick up on. We'll do one more option. And that blending option is the outer glow. The noise is going to be that blue. I'm going to cancel. That's going to be our blending. And spread of 2, 3, size of 2. Or just 1 is fine. All right. There we go. We're going to save out. Close out of this. And there we go. We now have a futuristic bridge. Yay for bridges! Alright, fit on the screen. I'm going to turn everything back on so you can see what progress we've made. Get a feel for what we're working toward. That's the beginning, folks. Thanks for watching, and have yourselves a wonderful day. If you get a chance, the stream should be starting here in 15 minutes. Take your bathroom break, get your snacks, get your drinks, get settled in for the other show. The one that's even better than the one I put on. More music, more mayhem, more madness, but the same fun.